Welcome, tennis fans. This is Shravan Abaraju again. I just wanted to quickly wrap up the Cincinnati 2023 final, my opinion on the final in Cincinnati this year. Before U.S. Open draws, are going to come out. They're going to come out later this afternoon, actually in a few hours. And before I see the draws, I'd like to just throw out my opinion on the Cincy final. Okay, what happened in Cincy? Djokovic at 36 years old beats 20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz, who's world number one. What a great accomplishment for Djokovic after losing Wimbledon final, Grand Slam the way he did against a 20-year-old. I think this is more like a revenge for Djokovic. I'm glad that he did. The reason for that is. I think Alcaraz was taking Djokovic for granted at this point because he's beaten him pretty well, even though all the sets, all the games were pretty close, three setters and also five setters, 7-5, 7-6 kind of a deal, other than Wimbledon. I think Alcaraz started taking Djokovic for granted. I think the matchup for him, was he felt pretty good about his chances of beating Djokovic. I'm glad he was brought down to earth by Novak because, since US Open is just around the corner, I think this gives Alcaraz the much needed motivation to actually focus better, maybe prepare better, train better, and also play better if and when they meet again, hopefully in the final of US Open 2023 this year. Okay. So that's why I think from the Alcaraz point of view, I think what happened in Cincy was actually better for him in a way. And it's actually not as good for Djokovic, even though he felt like he won a Grand Slam after beating him in the final. He ripped off his shirt, he was super happy. You could see that, and no wonder. He's in the later stages of his great career, and we don't know how many more good years we have from Djokovic. So I'm glad we got a final like that. It was thrilling to watch, but. That's about that. But I think the final was thrilling. But I was kind of disappointed initially in the first couple of sets. Alcaraz beat Djokovic in the first set, and he was leading 4-2 in the second set. And at that point, I was thinking, okay, this is a huge game for Alcaraz, and if he gets to 5-2 in the second set, I thought the match would be over at that point. And until then, what did I see in the match? Yeah, some great plays here and there, but Novak Djokovic didn't look physically ready for the match or fit for the match. I thought his age was showing up. He was, he was physically drained, super drained, and he felt as though he was having a heat stroke, and which is what he said in his post-match interview. But I think, to be honest with you, I think those were all antics by a veteran. I think Djokovic threw everything at Alcaraz just to get back in the game. Maybe, just to get that opportunity to get back in the game, because everything and anything that he did, even if it did distract Alcaraz, to a very minute amount, I think that's really what he was aiming for, and it did distract Alcaraz. He lost focus in the 4-2 game when he was serving to go up 5-2, and he just threw away that game. There were like four. He was leading 15-love, and I was thinking, okay, 15-love, this is going to be a pretty easy hold. But all of a sudden, you see him lose the game, making four straight unforced errors, and just throwing away the game. At 4-all, I was thinking, oh my goodness. I still thought Alcaraz would probably beat him, somehow break him back, or even if it's a tie break. I'm pretty confident Alcaraz would do well against Djokovic, given Djokovic's tie-break record this year. But that didn't happen. The tie-break was great. Alcaraz had chances. He had a match point, but he didn't close out. And once that set was gone, I thought, okay, this is going to be interesting. And that's what happened. But, all credit to Djokovic for taking a medical timeout, using 2 bathroom breaks, even though, apparently only one break was allowed, the other one was against the rule, but the umpire didn't stop him. So, it's not his fault. And what else did he do? His body language in the court in the first couple of sets when he was flailing his arms, as though showing that he was physically unable to control himself or the ball or his feet on the court. He did everything he could. All the antics that he used actually did work. And if you see Novak, when he plays top opponents like Nadal, Andy Murray, Wawrinka, all these players that beat him in the past, he does, and Carlos obviously as well, he displays signs of stress. He's under duress when he's playing against these players because he knows they're as good as him, not just physically but also mentally. So he's a little, he's unsure about his game plan and also unsure about what he needs to do. And, he knows it's going to be a physical battle, which is what happened, at the end of the Cincinnati Final. But, Djokovic has a way to display this negative body language, and stuff like that. And his antics, for a young player like Alcaraz, it did show, it did affect him. And all he needed was that one break or just something to get back into the match, which is what happened. Anyway, long story short, I'm glad Djokovic won in a way because it kind of pacifies or actually relaxes him a little bit that, okay, at this age, I'm able to beat this guy and I can beat this guy. But what it does is he's not going to have the same, I don't think he's going to have the same kind of killer motivation to play against him if and when they meet next time. No matter what you say, that's how human tendency is. He wanted to beat Alcaraz so badly after that Wimbledon final, and he showed it in Cincy with his emotions and his reaction after winning. But what it does to Alcaraz now, just a week before US Open, is it gives him that extra spark, extra motivation to beat Novak or come back at him much more stronger. So I don't know if that bodes well for Novak because as it is, Alcaraz at his best, I think is going to best Djokovic at his best at this age in his career, okay? But let's see what happens in US Open. The draws are going to come out tonight. And once the draws come out, I'm gonna just take a look at them and then make my predictions about how tough of a path each one of these top players I have, Alcaraz and Djokovic, and see how it's gonna play out. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Take care. I'll see you soon.